Hello, I'm Elsie Arntzen, the current Montana State Superintendent of Public Instruction. I'm a fourth generation Montanan and a school teacher of 23 years, also in public service for 12 years as a state legislator. And I've learned a lot, whether it's in the Capitol halls or in the halls of a school building, and now in my current halls where everybody is remote working at the agency for the Office of Public Instruction. So during COVID, and it hit schools very, very hard this last spring, but during COVID we recognized that it's not about where learning takes place, it is what learning is. And I believe that every student has an opportunity to learn, and every student should be given that because that's what our Constitution states. So I'm very pleased to be part of this discussion. We've had multiple conversations in the past in my prior service, wanting to make sure that we have ag in the classroom that is there no matter where students live and wherever they learn in Montana. So it is about partnerships and positively moving our education and putting our Montana students first.
Hi, my name is Melissa Romano. I'm the Democratic nominee for State Superintendent of Public Instruction, and I'm running to restore leadership to the Office of Public Instruction. First and foremost, I am a mom. I'm a proud product of Montana's public schools. I'm a union member, but most importantly, I am a very proud, accomplished, and experienced public school teacher. I'm running because I believe every child deserves an access to a quality public education. I believe Montanans need and deserve a superintendent who will show up every day to work to promote and protect high-quality public education in Montana. I'm running to restore leadership to the Office of Public Instruction, and Montanans need a strong advocate for their children, especially at the legislature and when it comes to funding our public schools. I am excited to wake up every day to ensure that every child in our state has what is guaranteed to them by our state constitution, access to a high-quality public education. I can think of no better job, and I can't wait to step into this role.
I do firmly believe that the pandemic that has hit not just our communities in Montana, but also our entire state and our entire nation. It's been very challenging. I have a degree in economics, and that's a go Grizz. Yes, my education degree came from MSU, but when it comes to our markets, it is a supply and demand issue, and we need to make sure that we get our world-class products out to consumers globally. So what are we doing about it? Well, I know coming in to play that as a legislator that the economy in Montana is based on agriculture, and it will continue to do so. So strengthening that has been my day one mission. So we have revamped our career technical education division, and this is managed right now by a young gal that has come out of West Virginia that is an ag teacher. We've also stolen from Conrad Public Schools a great ag leader that is going to mentor our new teachers, as well as instilling that it is about learning agriculture in all of our classrooms across our state. Perkins 5 is very excited about the flexibility that the federal government has allowed us to put this into upper elementary with a little bit more dollars as well. And we've received 11 waivers from Secretary Perdue in USDA in how we expend nourishment to our students. So let's go forward into the legislature. I'm looking to strengthen our CTSOs, which are student-led organizations, making sure there's equitable funding for that great expansion for our student engagement. And then also, let's talk about digital divide. It's happened in our rural classrooms, and it also happens where we go ahead and we have our producers in our fields. So broadband is exceedingly important as we put our Montana students first in the future.
There are many issues facing our agriculture communities across the state. And one of the things that comes to mind when I think about our Montana communities is ensuring that our families are able to stay in their communities. I think this is an issue and a challenge across our state. And in terms of my office and running for State Superintendent of Public Instruction, one of the things I'm passionate about is making sure that every child in our state has access to a qualified teacher in front of the classroom. Montana is facing a teacher recruitment and retention crisis, and it's important to me that we are addressing this. One of the things I'm really interested in, so every child has access to a teacher, is teacher mentorship programs. I'd love to commit to the conversation of connecting teachers to need teachers across our state so all children benefit.
State trusts lands. There are many wonderful things that our beautiful state yields to not just Montanans, but most specifically to our children. As a legislator, I know school funding, and not only school funding, but the intricate quilt of how our general fund, and these are taxes and fees that come off of not just our state trust lands, but come from corporations, property tax owners, and taxpayers across our state. So I understand that tax dollars are very precious. When it comes to what I've been given at the school, in the school trust divisions, that there is an entrust of $2.3 billion that is in a biennium that we then entrust into our schools. So annually, that is about $900 million that our office carefully distributes to schools. 20% of that is coming from our school trust lands. That's very important that we make sure that that 20% keeps and becomes very viable. Because I've been entrusted to be able to give these dollars and these very precious dollars out to our schools. That means those are opportunities out in rural communities for our students as much as in our towns and our cities across our state. So agriculture is a balance with that because our leasing comes off of our school trust lands. It's one of the benefits that we have. But not only that, we are Montanans, and as a fourth generation, it's exceedingly important that we put forward that beauty of our state in every classroom across Montana, and full well knowing that agriculture is indeed the tip of that spear.
The most important role as my position of State Superintendent of Public Instruction is maximizing revenue for our schools. And that's my approach when I will be on the state land board. It's really important that our teachers, our students, our school communities have the resources they need so our students can learn. At the end of the day, I want all students to go on and live a productive and a fulfilling life, and that comes down to resources. So it's extremely important to me that as a member of the land board that we are maximizing revenue for our schools, and that's what I'll be doing on the land board.
So priorities in managing our lands depends on leadership. And I've been so blessed to be a land board commissioner for the last 4 years. But, you know, I've got an A+ after my name because I have that very type A process that I look at. And I know we can do better. Number one, there needs to be more flexibility within how we manage our school trust lands, knowing that these are fees, that there are regulations that occur within how we use our lands. I've seen things from solar farms, I've seen things from wind farms, from energy storage units as well. We need to also be creative in our flexibility. But information must flow in a timely manner. When we have a land board meeting once a month, I shouldn't have to go through a mountain of information and then vote on it within the next 48 hours. I need to have great government. I know I've called landowners seeking information. I've called corporations. I've talked to county commissioners and legislators. I've visited with so many individuals, making sure that my vote counts, not just for making sure that our lands give and reap our treasures in our state, but also give value to our schools. So it is exceedingly important that we have much better government. I need a leader that is going to be leading the school trust land division, and that means Fish, Wildlife, and Park and DNRC need to all work together. because our Montana students deserve great government. All of our community in Montana deserve great government.
In terms of managing the lands on the land board, I'm going to be approaching this with 2 words in mind: being reasonable and responsible. I want to make sure that we're maximizing revenue for schools, but that also means approaching it with reasonableness and responsibleness. I want my children to be able to enjoy the trails that we hike together now as a family. I want them to be able to enjoy that with their children for generations to come. I want us to be able to continue to enjoy our outdoor recreational spaces, whether it's camping, hunting, hiking. I want our access to be available to all. Just like I do in my classroom as an advocate for all students, I'm going to be advocating for all of us to be able to use our public lands, keeping those 2 words in mind: being reasonable and being responsible.
So I firmly believe, because I'm very hopeful, that even because of COVID and even because of some challenges with our economy at this point, and most explicitly in how we bring our products to market, but I believe very firmly that public school and all education in rural Montana has a bright future. And the reason why I believe that is because rural Montana understands family values. They understand our traditional way of life, and they know that putting our Montana students first is that. Because the heart of our community in rural Montana is our public school. It's where we hold education, of course, but it's also where we hold the celebration of life. And I firmly believe that if we can maintain that traditional fabric of who we are, it is going to happen in rural Montana. But that depends on how we go into our future. So I talked a little bit about broadband, making sure that technology is very vivid in our classrooms, but also being used in the workplace. And in agriculture, we know that exists. So making sure that we have an optimistic future for all of our students and for our teachers as well in our communities across our state, because we know that rural Montana is the backbone of Montana.
Our rural schools in Montana are truly the heart and soul of so many communities across our state. They're where our families and communities show up to cheer for a sporting event. They go to watch a new theater production or check out an art show. They really are the livelihoods of our communities. And in terms of what the future is, it's really time that our budget reflects our values. And it's time that we are investing in our school infrastructure across our state, particularly in our rural school or in our rural communities. It's time that we're investing in our learners, and it's time that we invest in our teachers. Our teachers need to be paid fairly. They need to be paid well. They need to be able to stay in the communities that they cherish dearly and deeply so that our children across our state benefit. And as your next state superintendent, I promise you I'm going to wake up every day and work to ensure that every student in our state, regardless of where they live, regardless of their zip code, regardless of how much money their parents make, that they will have the resources they need to learn. And I'm excited to do it, and particularly in rural schools, but across our state.
So, I'm Elsie Arntzen, and I've been blessed and honored to be able to have the vote of Montanans in leading education and leading education forward. So as our school doors open this fall, let's make sure that they open safely. Let's entrust our trustees. They are our local elected officials in knowing what's best for our future. Our Montana treasures, yes, are there. They're the ones that will be sitting in those seats or at our kitchen table as we might remote learn. So with that, I'm Elsie Arntzen. I'm very pleased and honored to be in part of a partnership, and I thank you very much for your support, and blessings and health to all. Thank you.
I am so excited to be an advocate and to be a leader at the Office of Public Instruction. Our students, our teachers, our school communities across this state deserve no less. I'm excited to wake up every day and work to make sure every child in our state has access to a quality public education. It is said that Montana is the last best place. I believe that. Children are a gift, and I can't wait to wake up every day and advocate for the children in Montana. I ask for your vote in November. Thank you.